6:09, and I'm going to call to order the November 25th meeting of the Ann Arbor Independent Community Police Oversight Commission. Ms. Cummins, would you please call the roll?
Yes. All right, everybody, turn your mics on so we can. All right. Chair Carter.
Here.
Vice Chair Othman.
Here.
Commissioner Milgram.
Here.
Commissioner Pipkins. Here. Commissioner Green.
Here.
Commissioner Liu. Here. Commissioner Mangley.
Here.
Commissioner Cooper. Commissioner Haynes. Councilmember Harrison. Here. Councilmember Iyer.
She's here.
She is here. Great, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Commissioners, I'd ask you please to review the agenda, which you have in front of you, as well as the minutes from the October meeting. Can I have a motion for approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the agenda as written, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Moving on to the minutes from our last meeting. Can I have a motion to approve, please?
Motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Uh-oh.
I second.
Thank you.
Is that me making that noise?
Any questions, additions, comments on the minutes from our October meeting? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any, Commissioner Hoffman. Any opposed? All right, thank you. The minutes and agenda are approved. Moving on, this is our time for public comment. Is there anyone present who would like to talk to the commission about anything? You have 3 minutes if you'd like to do that. Okay. Is there anybody on the phone, Ms. Cummins?
At this time, we have nobody on the phone.
Thank you. Okay. Next on the agenda is the report from the chair. There are a lot of things I want to report on. So first, attached to your agenda and your minutes is our report from the NACOL conference. 3 of your commissioners went, and I thought it was extremely beneficial. I'm going to ask Commissioner Green if he has any comments he'd like to make outside of, we all took part in preparing the report, and so does he have any comments past what we have written up?
Yes, I do. I'd like to say it was a very informative event. I was really impressed by not simply the number of attendees, but I was also impressed by the fact that many persons the business of monitoring police agencies and enforcing consent decrees, this is their livelihood, their job, and they take their job seriously. So I was really impressed with the seriousness. I was impressed with the various workshops that were presented. They were informative, they're lively, and I certainly look forward to coming back again.
Good, good. Thank you.
I'm very glad that I attended.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and to see the diversity of across the country, of course, there were people there from all across the country, and various oversight commissions, committees, the different powers that they have. One of the things that Commissioner Haynes, who's out of town, wanted to point out is that some commissions across the country have subpoena power. And initially, when, of course, Commissioner Haynes was on the task force that put together ICPOC, and part of what they had initially proposed included subpoena power for ICPOC. But that was removed. Praise the Lord, we have not had an opportunity, we haven't had the necessity of using that, of needing that kind of power, authority, but some agencies do have it. So hopefully, you learned some things from the report that we did put together. I was impressed by the mother of Philando Castile. You remember Mr. Castile, who was shot and killed within seconds of being stopped by the police. And she was heart-wrenching, really. She was, your heart just goes out, and anyone who has children would know if your child is taken away from you. Something else that was interesting that we heard from the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, spoke. Now, he prosecuted Chauvin, Derek Chauvin, who murdered George Floyd. And he said something very interesting, and I thought of what you have said as well, Councilperson Harrison, that Chauvin had lots of training. He had more training than most of the other officers. But culture will trump training. So we do believe, I believe personally, that we're moving towards a good culture here in Ann Arbor with our police department. And I'm happy that ICPART is a part of that. But that was, the whole thing was impressive. We're glad we went and hope everybody gets a chance to go next year. Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Commissioner Milligan.
I just had a couple of questions about your report, if
Okay.
that's okay. Well, so I just wanted a clarification on one of the items you mentioned, that, so there was an officer had reported an assault. You went to a section where they talked about an officer who had reported an assault by another officer. I guess I wasn't clear. It wasn't, and then the officer lost the job. Was it the officer who reported the assault?
Yes, I'm sorry if that wasn't clear.
No,
The
that's all right.
officer who
Reported.
saw
And
his fellow
reported it.
officer and reported it.
Lost a job.
Yes.
So is that because he reported it?
Yes.
Or because he didn't intervene?
Well, I don't know, probably all tied together.
Okay.
Initially, I think because he didn't,
Because you
because he,
mentioned something also about the duty to intervene was
Right.
involved in that, so.
right. After that
I guess I don't
happened,
understand why would the officer who reported it, why would he be the one who loses his job rather than the officer who assaulted? What were the circumstances?
it was my understanding, I don't know if you were in that session, but it was my understanding that because the officer made that report, I mean, I don't know if it was a direct result of you made that report, but he was harassed to the point that he lost his job. And the whole duty to intervene then and to report comes out of that situation where, you know, if the officer actually has a duty and cannot be reprimanded for reporting some kind of misconduct from a fellow officer.
May I add a comment as well?
Mm-hmm.
You know, during some of the training, they used the word culture over and over again. And initially, I thought they were talking about the culture of the community.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about the culture of the police agency.
Right.
That there's a culture within the agency itself.
Right.
And that can trump your training.
Right.
So that's probably why he was terminated, because of the culture within the police agency. He had violated that culture.
Okay, I mean, I understand how he could perhaps, in those circumstances, be harassed by fellow officers, but how did the chief justify terminating him on that basis?
And I wish I had more details. That particular case was something that was just sort of mentioned.
What was the community? Did they mention?
No,
Okay.
no, not at all. But if you have a chief who tolerates, that kind of, whatever happened with that officer. But the bottom line was the officer who made the report lost his job. So. Okay, and, yes.
My question is, since you had a chance to see other oversight commissions over there, where do you think you place our commission? Where it lies in terms of, are we like in the middle of the pack, are they ahead of the pack, behind the pack? I know that some commissions have authority, some don't have, like us. But in that class of oversight, where do you think you can put us?
Personally, you're right, there's a broad range. There's in a large city, and I don't want to misquote, but I think it was Chicago. If there is a shooting or something like that, they get the report when the police get the report.
Right.
And they can release a statement to the public. They can talk to the family. They have subpoena power. They can investigate. So they go from that to, I don't know, we are advisory only. We have no teeth.
Is there many like us? Or is there many across? Because from past, I didn't attend this one, but I attended the last two NACOs, and
Right.
it seems like I didn't run across too many that were like Ann Arbor, I guess. But it seemed like most of them have things set in place as far as different.
I think a lot of them do. I talked to, this was another city in Michigan, and I won't mention where it was. She told me that they have trouble. They don't have any money. They didn't give them any money. They basically don't. You think we don't have any power? They can not do anything. I mean, they're just sort of a figurehead commission. So I don't know. I don't know, and we didn't. I don't think get that information in terms of the range of commissions, oversight agencies. But I keep saying our type of agency wouldn't work in Chicago. So we're here in Ann Arbor, and seems like we're working pretty well.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments about the NACO report? Sure.
I'm just curious, those of you who visited the George Floyd site, if you want to say anything about that? So you visited the site of where George Floyd was killed?
Yes, we did. Myself and Commissioner Haynes, we personally went to the site. It was very heart-wrenching. There's a museum, a kind of makeshift museum there. Street signs, posters, artwork. And actually went to the store where I guess he came out of.
They called the police
Yeah,
from
they
that
called
store.
the police, and of course, the store is still there, but it was a moving experience.
Were there lots of other visitors at the time you visited?
Beg pardon?
Were there lots of other visitors at the time you visited?
Yes, there were.
Mhm.
Yes, there were. Yeah. It was great, yeah.
It's interesting, I didn't go, I just did not want to go.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, that store, that's where they called the police from. And the community is sort of asking people not to shop there But it's one of those areas where it's a food desert, and that's one of the only places to shop. So it's kind of a sad situation.
So this one really, I was so bummed to miss this one. I was not able to go. I'm curious about Mrs. Castile. She was on the agenda? I am really bummed
She was on one of the panels.
have missed her. Her son is mentioned often. As you all know, you've heard that we passed the driving equality ordinance on the 7-year anniversary of her son's killing. So, yeah, I'm bummed. And I wanted to see the memorial. And yeah, I didn't realize that I probably would have figured out a way to get there, to meet her.
She did not mince words. She was upset.
I'm going to meet her one day, so.
Yeah.
Well, would she be our speaker for the symposium?
I don't know. I don't know.
Just a suggestion.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a good suggestion, I think. It's a good,
I don't know. Go ahead.
I have one more question.
Sure.
So I unfortunately wasn't able to make this conference either, but I have been to other NACOL conferences, and I know you mentioned the state preemption issue, which came up again,
Yes.
and that's been kicking around a while. And
Yes.
I guess I'm just curious, are we aware of any rumblings within our state legislature about enacting anything of that nature? I know some states, have passed laws to preempt, essentially preempt local authority to oversee
Right.
police. I mean, I'm not personally, I don't know if it came up, they went through any of this. Sometimes, they'll do like a state-by-state survey and.
No.
Yeah.
No, I tried to list the ones that they talked about. I don't know, maybe that's something that we might ask. I've been saying I was going to ask former Chair Jackson to come and talk with us. She works with the state board. And maybe I'll contact her and see if I can. I have not heard of any rumblings of the state of Michigan. I would be surprised if the state of Michigan decided they wanted to preempt oversight commissions. Okay, so it was a good conference. I'm glad you read the report and had questions about it and comments. And again, hopefully next year, more of us will be able to attend. I don't know how many saw this article. Detroit Police Union sues over new law for body dash cams. Apparently, the city of Detroit had passed an ordinance that said if there is a shooting, that the body cam footage would be released, I think it said 30 days, would be released to the public. Yeah, in 30 days, in cases involving great bodily harm. And the union said that would violate their contract with regard to the privacy of the officer. So the union has sued the city. I bring that up, if anybody wants to see the article, it's right here. I bring that up because, there are a lot of forces that are operating at the same time. And I think that, it's why previously we've been invited to, when there's contract negotiations going on, to take a look, to be involved to some degree. And hopefully that will continue. Okay. There have been 3 meetings with companies, and they kept saying RMS. And I said, well, my daddy told me the only dumb question is the one you don't ask. So I asked, what's RMS? Records Management System. So if you hear RMS, we had 3 companies that came in. I was able to go to sort of 1.5. One I was late to, but I was there in enough time to ask questions in terms of what we, as IGPOC, would be looking for in the new records management system. It does appear as though we're going to have a new one that will replace Clemis, and we're happy about that. The things that I told them we were interested in would be a system that could record and be able to get the data back on traffic stops, age, race, and I mentioned your concern about expanding the racial categories, gender, how many people were in the car, was there a search of the passengers, all that kind of thing. And both of the ones that I attended indicated that they were able to do those things. So I don't know, and I guess I sort of addressed this to information managers, but is that what we need? Is there anything else that we need? Because they're still now deciding, they're going to be making a decision, and I said in an email today that, if any of the commissioners had any input. The two that I saw, both of them seemed fine. So, but, and I, as I say, I told them what I thought we were looking for with the records management system.
I think all the vendors that came over here probably, they have similar products. Many of them have been in the business for quite a while. The records or the fields that they fill, many of them are fixed because they are based on what they call NIBRs, which is National Incident Based Reporting, and those ones are standards. But you can add to fit. It's not like one size fits all. If the police department over here, they have their own things they want to add, they can add. Not every place probably have a Middle Eastern, North African population. Over here we have, so we can add that. The issue that we have is basically to look at the traffic stops. And traffic stops, the Clemis gives you one option of choosing, but it could be a stop with just a verbal warning, maybe a ticket, maybe arrest, maybe search, maybe impounding, maybe firearms being detected, whatever they see. Those things can be ticked, they can be checked. And the gender, the ethnicity, the time, the place, the day of the week, location, all those things can be placed in the records. And for us, we can look at a particular time or a particular age or particular day of the week. And we can do analysis on those ones much better than what Clemis is providing.
Much better.
And the other thing is also be able to import all the old records that the police departments have through maybe another software that can bring in all that into the new system. But at least with the new system, all the new occurrences will be there, and you can do all the analysis you want. So I don't think they can go wrong with any of the
With any
options.
of them.
But it depends on the decision in the city and whomever is going to decide.
I asked them, one of the, going back to NACO very quickly, one of the sessions was on AI, and I don't like AI. I don't like artificial intelligence. And I know where that leaves me, but that's okay. The people who were giving the presentation on AI were salespeople for AI companies, right? And so they talked about how great it was. And there was, that AI can write a police report. And, I said, we don't want AI writing a police report. want the police officer to write the police report. And there was, I think we put it in the report. In that session, there was something about an officer who had submitted a video of him getting assaulted, and it was all AI. It was all completely made up. And, but AI can do that, so we gotta watch that. But, so that was one of the questions that I had of the vendors about AI, and they don't use it. Okay. Any other questions, comments about the new RMS? Next, I wanted to, again, congratulate Councilwoman Harrison. Some of our commissioners were able to go and see the Ripple in Ann Arbor at the Michigan Theater. It was very well attended, and I thought it was an excellent film about what had happened here in Ann Arbor.
Thank you.
One question that I had, though. Were they stopping men on the street? Was it all traffic stops? Were they knocking on doors? That wasn't clear to me.
Yes.
All of that.
They were stopping men on the street. They were pulling men off buses, kicking down their doors. They were going door to door. I thought Attorney Steinberg, his babysitter was at home, and the police knocked on the door and asked if she had seen any black men on the street, and gave the flyer of, this is the profile that we're looking for. Yeah, it was really bad. It wasn't just traffic stops. It was
And it was like 600?
everywhere.
600 people?
600 to 800
To
black
800.
men that were questioned.
Yeah,
Boys, too.
yeah,
Yeah. Black men and black boys.
yeah.
Madam Chair, may I say something as well?
Yes.
I also attended the movie. I thought it was a wonderful presentation. Councilwoman Harrison did a fantastic job of presenting it as well. One fact I think that we need to remember was that it took a circuit court order for it to stop, for the dragnet to stop, and also for the release of the DNA that had been collected by the Ann Arbor police, because they were withholding it and using it in any way they wanted to. It took a circuit court order from Washington County Circuit Judge Curtis Wilder in order to force the return of that DNA, of those blood samples to be returned to the people who they were taken from. So,
Yeah,
yeah. We have quite a history here in Ann Arbor.
yeah, we do.
Yeah. And a lot of people were not aware that this had occurred. People who have lived here for a couple of decades didn't know. So, yeah, we do have quite a history here.
So thank you for pointing that out. I, for one, hope that our courts continue to uphold the law as we move into uncharted territory, perhaps.
One of the things, too, that I did want to point out, because there may have been some confusion around this, that dragnet, it didn't occur between 92 and 94. It happened within a matter of months. It was not like from 92 to 94. It was like at the end, right, of the investigation. So all of those men and boys that were questioned it was like less than a year. It was, I've got the range, but it was like months, like that this happened, that happened, so.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
No, the question I have is, does the police have the authority to, force people to give blood samples? What does the law say?
We've got two here from the Ann Arbor Police Department. Do you guys want to speak on that? On anybody, either one of you? I will say about that time frame, they were coercing people to give their blood to prove their innocence. So it was, pressure that was put on the Black community and these individuals, these men and boys to, it was kind of like, well, why don't you prove you're innocent?
Yeah.
It was
If you didn't do it. The answer is no. Without a
Right.
search warrant, they cannot take your blood.
correct.
So,
That's right, we have an attorney here. I keep forgetting.
Attorneys.
Your other hat on, yes.
what?
More than one attorney.
We have 3.
We do, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
3,
And, we don't have to, you watch TV and the police come to the house and say, well, come on down to the station with me and talk. No. Am I under arrest? No. And the community needs to understand those rights that we still have.
Yes, and on the subject of a ripple in Ann Arbor, and just like there's been an outpouring from the community, just reaching out and talking about that event, the film. The people are overwhelmed by the apologies. They are like, that just does not happen, and it's been very people reaching out. I'm still trying to take it all in, but because it was a very heavy lift and a labor of love, and a story that needed to be told as we passed municipal reparations over a year ago, and Ann Arbor's so liberal, right, and progressive, so yeah, it was an important story to tell. There are many that lived through it, such as myself, that remember the harm it placed on the Black community. So yeah, it was a very important story to tell, and it's going to live in perpetuity on the Ann Arbor District Library, and eventually, I'll say here, they will be. For those that didn't see the apology, weren't able to make the event, they're going to be putting the apologies in the panel discussion right there. They're going to, put it right there with the film in perpetuity as well, so people can watch it just as they were at the event. So,
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your
welcome.
work on that. Okay. Please continue to think about our spring symposium. Remember last month we said we wanted to have it, and we need to get a theme and maybe a speaker. I didn't see anybody that we might want to invite from NACO.
I would think that would be a fantastic,
Mrs.
yeah, I think it would be fantastic to have Miss Castile here. She didn't pull any punches.
No, she didn't.
And her languages was quite colorful. But she was honest about what she went through. I think people need to hear that story. And I think when people hear stories like that, then it becomes real personal, and the work we're doing becomes real important. I would love to see her come to Michigan. I think she'd come too.
I think she probably would. Is there anybody chairing this symposium?
Beg pardon?
Do we have a chair for the symposium, for the outreach committee? Is that outreach committee? That's the outreach committee.
So
Yes.
please.
Yeah.
Do you have a chair for the outreach committee?
Yes, ma'am.
She right there.
Who?
No, she's not on here.
What?
It wasn't her.
No, it wasn't her. I forgot her name, but she's not here.
Point of clarification, at the last commission meeting, you guys voted for Commissioner Liu and I to work together on the outreach committee. So Commissioner Liu is the only one on the outreach committee with my assistance.
All right, well, we'll continue to talk about it.
I think we can still have that part of our planning committee.
She also has an update for the outreach committee today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she has her own update.
All right,
Look at that.
all right.
Ready, Commissioner Liu? Got your update ready? Perfect. Good to go. We're ready.
No, I think she just volunteered to do the marketing on social media, not necessarily put the event together. I'm speaking on her behalf here.
Okay.
But,
That's also part of the outreach committee. We'll discuss it later.
I'm just saying.
Okay. I had I'm still in long report, but I was going to next talk about the policy committee and not necessarily ask for the report now, but they can report if you want to. I want to express appreciation to the policy committee. They went through all the policies like we asked them to do. And
You're
some.
welcome, but I should say, though, that we're only half done, actually. We only went through half of them so far.
So, thank you for the half that you do.
Okay. But, and we will continue.
Yeah, now, did everybody get a chance? Let me just change things around and ask the policy committee to give you a report now. We're in the middle of something else.
And I'll ask Commissioner Liu to chime in whenever she likes. So, and I just want to go, I mean, we did the thorough go over report, we've got the PowerPoint, and
The summaries are attached in your packet.
right, and so what I really thought I would do tonight is just go over just a
Those
few
are
of the
the
points in the
changes.
summary, and maybe just a couple of things that maybe weren't in the summary, and then just open it up to any questions or any discussion we may have. But, so first of all, I mean, we reviewed more than 130 policies, I estimated, and it's approximately half. They're numbered kind of in a weird way, but it's from 001-001 to 041 to 045. As it turns out, we actually don't have a lot of comments or criticisms regarding most of the policies. And that's, at least I think in part, because the department goes through them and they note, when the last time they've been reviewed. And it appears that of the ones that we've looked at so far, and at some point or other during 2025, most, though certainly not all, the policies have been reviewed and not necessarily revised. But they, it's, so one of our questions is, what's the protocol for how often policies are reviewed and why and what necessitates modifications. But, so, we went through a lot of policies and just said, no comment. There's one thing in my summary that I just wanted to point out, and that's on body-worn cameras, because I had spent a lot of time in one of our meetings a year or two ago and talked about some discrepancies we thought, or that it didn't seem that, it appeared that maybe some of the policies didn't coincide with actual protocols, and maybe they could look at that. And I know that the policy's been revised in 2025, but all the sections that I mentioned seem to have been left alone. There might be something else within that section that changes it, but I didn't notice that. But I'll just leave that aside for now. And let's see, what else? Very helpfully, every policy cites at the top of each page who was the chief or interim chief at the time that the policy was issued and or updated, and then in some cases, what's the effective date, which occasionally I was a little confused by it. So that's a question we have for the department. I'm not sure what the interrelationship necessarily is among those terms, because some of the policies, it seemed to indicate the effective date of it was a date that didn't coincide with when the listed interim or current chief was actually serving their tenure. So maybe it's just my confusion, but I think it needs some clarification. And then finally, I guess, clearly some of these policies are technical enough in nature that, us as commissioners, we're not really in the best position to review them for substance, but we have attempted to sort of use our common sense in some of those to provide substantive comments while also reviewing the policy as to form. And, we have found a lot of typos and other sort of, grammatical, very minor things. I guess finally, and this isn't in the summary, but a couple of things occurred to me, and Commissioner Othman and I had a discussion, and I know he's got a couple of questions but he raised a couple of points that made me think of something, as well as the NACOL report. Not remembering now what exactly was in the NACOL report that highlighted this issue for me, but it made me think that I'm not sure that we, and maybe Commissioner Liu did give more thought to this than I might have, but as I went through it, I'm not sure that I gave enough thought to what might be missing. I mean, we looked at what was there and dealt with that, but it might behoove us to go back, at least in some of the cases, and say, well, what's here is fine, but what's missing? And I think, I think that some of the things that you commented on probably did address that when you found it, but I'm not sure I spent enough time thinking about that all the time when I went through it. And then finally, having mentioned the body-worn camera, I just want to also, I think it's important to acknowledge, with respect to body-worn cameras, that it seems to me we're asking officers to do something that not very many of us, would appreciate having to do in our own workplaces. And as Commissioner Othman and I talked about, he pointed out that, I mean, and certainly in some cases, it protects the officers as well. So I understand that, but I just want to, I think it's a very important issue, and that's why I raised it. I looked at that again. It's a long section, but I just wanted to mention that. Did you have anything to add or subtract? Maybe you want to subtract from that. Okay. So I'll just open it up to any questions or comments any of you have. And as I say, I frankly haven't looked at any of the policies since I finished this report, but we'll get into it after the holidays and hopefully finish it up next year sometime.
Well, I was thinking, as I was, reading the report, that what we might consider doing is, and I don't know if we wanted, I would suggest we wait until you finished. But if the commission looks at the recommendations, and then we pass it on as a commission to the department for recommendations, rather than any kind of piecemeal or asking them any questions that you all have come up with.
I think one of the points at our meeting, which somehow you missed. And
too many meetings.
Commissioner Milgram and myself talked about some of these policies, and we thought that next time when we meet with the chief, we can bring some of those issues and discuss with him, because since we have these regular meetings, he can address some of these questions that we have about some of these policies. In regard to a body-worn camera, yes, it is important to have that on, and there are certain circumstances where they can be turned off. If police is having a lunch or having a cup of coffee or something like that, or having a regular encounter with the public. But what if a situation arises where now you have to deal with a situation and you forgot that you have your camera on and you did not turn it on? And this goes on for a while, and I don't think the circumstances would give you the clear mind to, oh yeah, now I remember to turn it on. So even if it's not going to lead to any substance, but at least to have it on in case of a situation like that. And again, it will protect the public as well as also the police officers. in case if there is any kind of complaint or any issue that would be happening. The other thing we talked about was some of the policies, they are quite technical, and this is why you could see many of the slides in the PowerPoint where they have no comments. And again, we don't have the experience to doing that. But I think policies, and you talked about culture. The policies are really important and effective as long as they are adhered to and exercised by the officers. You could have a great constitution, great law, and all these things, and you have a dictator. What is the value of having all these nice words and articles? So I think we know that the policies over here are being reviewed often because the department's being accredited by many accredited agencies, and they have to really follow all the recommendations and suggestions in their policies. But again, the policies are as important, not only through training, but also exercising those policies and making sure that they are being faithfully executed.
Okay, I understand what your position is with regard to addressing the policies, to me, on a piecemeal basis. I would actually prefer to have a report with the policy, with our recommendations after complete review, and at that point, go to the chief and say, we've reviewed the policies and this is what we think. So it's not something we have to decide now, but any idea when you might have the rest of them done? I'm not trying to rush you. I'm just wondering, any idea when you might be done? Certainly not over the holidays.
I'll say that we wouldn't have gotten this far without Commissioner Liu pushing me. She finished her portion well before I did, so. But, I mean, I will commit right now in public to finishing it before the end of my term, and hopefully before that, which is, I think, in June, but.
May.
And it should be before that, next year sometime. As you know, I'm out of the state for 2 months, and I'm going to miss those 2 meetings. Doesn't mean I can't work on it when I'm gone, but it's not likely.
Okay,
Can I say something?
sure.
In reference to the policy.
Turn your mic on.
In reference to the policies and waiting for a report to be done, is it not something that we can have a conversation about? I guess my thought is every day a situation can occur, and then we haven't addressed the policy that we might have had a concern on that probably could have been addressed because we're waiting to do it all in one type of setting. And I guess that's my biggest fear, like waiting to address something that everyday life happens, and it could happen on that policy that we didn't talk about or have a sit down about.
I appreciate that. Certainly, that's a consideration.
I think it's a good point, but I mean, is there something in particular that you saw? Because off the top of my head, I don't know that anything is like an exigent, emergent situation that would require, we better pass this over to the department before something happens, frankly. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not sure that unless Commissioner Liu can think of something that, is urgent, we should make sure we get this particular thing over to them ASAP. And we might pick out a couple of things if maybe we go back through it with that in mind. And there might be a few things that we say, we're still doing our review, but, we want to alert you to these things.
These are more.
We could do that. I
More
think.
urgent, or you want to a few that you might want to deal with. Okay, thank you. And thank you again to the policy committee Reminder, we're going to be working on our annual report for 2025. This, of course, is our last meeting of the year. We do not meet in December. And so please try to put together a summary. If you weren't on a committee, but you did something or saw something that you think would be good to have in our annual report, please start thinking about that. In January, we're going to start putting it together. So that is, that's all that I have. I know you're saying good, because that was long. Okay, report from committees. The policy committee has already reported. Anything else you want to add?
We have no old business. We have new business.
Oh, did I skip old business?
Yep.
And okay.
Don't have any old business. But
No
we do-
old business.
We do have new business. We have to approve calendar.
Okay, for our new business, please take a look at the calendar that's attached to your agenda.
All
This-
right. So this is the 2026 calendar for the commission. The only date that would need to be changed is highlighted on the calendar, May 26, 2026. I don't want to pronounce the holiday wrong, but it is Eid al-Adha, which is an observed holiday that the city has. So if you guys would like to meet the day before or the day after.
Or the week before?
Yeah, that too, Mohammed. I'm glad you said that. The week before, the week no, I don't think there's a week after.
So what would the date be, the Tuesday before?
So the Tuesday before, yep, is May 19th.
So is there any comment at all about the May 19th meeting? That will be my last meeting as well. And,
You can
May-
have,
we're gonna-
have 3 more months.
Yeah, you can, 90 days. She'll be at the June meeting, you guys, don't worry.
but I won't be chair.
Or you still be chair.
Yeah,
We
you still
will
be
appoint
chair,
you
yeah.
I'm going
chair.
to be chair.
Just
We're
one
going to
more
have
month.
elections in May.
You acted like the champ.
We might have elections in June.
We'll figure it out.
All right, anyway, that's going to be an important meeting. So do you want to move it up
May 19th?
up 1 week to May the 19th rather than the 26th? Anybody got any plans for the 19th? All right. Is there a motion to change the date of the May 2026 meeting from the 26th to the 19th on account of a holiday that day?
I so move.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Very good, we've done that. So please put these dates on your calendars, try to work around them if you're going to be out of town.
I will be submitting a new and updated calendar invite, so when that does go out, please make sure that you accept it, and the calendar and the calendar PDF will be included in it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now that where am I?
Training committee.
Okay, so that was our only new business.
Yes.
Training committee.
Commissioner Haynes is not here, but wanted to keep an update that we have 4 commissioners right now interested in doing ride-alongs with AAPD. Those will be scheduled in January, so please be on the lookout for an email asking about your availability at the beginning of the year to do the ride-along. Also wanted to make a note that these ride-alongs do not need to be taken as a group. You can do it at a time that is different from everyone else's.
May I ask how many hours is the ride-along? Is it 4, is it 6 hours? How many?
4 hours?
Here we go. Wonderful. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Potterly and Arbor PD Professional Standards. Regarding the ride-alongs that we're working on setting up for everybody, that can be any period of time that you have available that you would like to do the ride-along. You can also get there within any portion of the shift. You don't have to be there right when the shift starts. Once you report to the station, the officer that you would be assigned to can respond back to the station to pick you up. You can ride with them for a period of time that you have available, and then at any point, you can end the ride-along. So it doesn't have to be a set time frame.
Thank you.
Yep.
So I know that everybody got the email from Ms. Cummings, if you want to ride along.
I think I might do one.
Okay.
Now, since the time is on, but.
Okay, so you
we can decide.
All right.
Sure.
Mohammed's not. I can't hear you. Did you say yes? You don't.
And that'll give us an idea of what the officers go through on a shift or for a few hours.
Yes, you did.
so.
I have, yes. Okay, Mohammed, so that's 5 now.
Okay. Now, Outreach Committee. Commissioner Liu.
Yes. Ms. Cummings and I met a few weeks ago, and we decided on the logistics for social media and outreach for the community. And what we're going to do is one monthly reminder post, meeting reminder post on Instagram and Twitter. We don't have a Facebook account, and I would like to ask if you guys are interested in creating a Facebook account, because the audience you would attract would be different than Instagram and X users. X is Twitter.
Yes. Facebook. I'm not even on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make a motion on both, which I'll have.
Okay.
What?
I'll make a motion that the commission will have.
Okay, I thought we had one. Okay, so would you, Commissioner Liu, you want to move that the commission set up a Facebook page and have you do it?
Sure. Sure.
Okay. So that's been moved, that the commission set up a Facebook page for our monthly announcements. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay. And then, so that will be every month we'll have.
Okay, wait a minute, we got to vote. Is there any discussion?
I do have a question in reference to, so with the social media, for example, Facebook, it'll be the same as, set up the same as far as with the Instagram and Twitters, how they're gonna be set up and putting out monthly blasts as far as meetings and such as well?
Yes.
Okay, so they'll all be the same across the board. Sweet.
Okay, any other questions, comments? The motion, it has been moved and seconded that ICPOC set up a Facebook page to be handled by our outreach committee. No other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Okay, now, Commissioner.
Okay. So to summarize, we're going to have 4 different types of post. One is the monthly meeting reminder that I just mentioned, which will be 2 weeks in advance of our monthly meeting to give people time to put it on their calendars and attend if they want to and submit any questions. And then beginning next year, we will do a monthly interactive community outreach post/polling, which would be a week before the meeting reminder, so week 2 of the month. And then this is to see what the community is interested about. And then we will do monthly holidays, birthdays, and special occasion post. And then if there are any upcoming events, we can advertise it before the event date. And then for polling questions, we will ask if people are interested in the issues that we discussed during these meetings, what they would like to know about the commissioners, and community topics of interest. And if you guys are okay with it, I know Commissioner Milgram sent his profile over a while back. We would start that in January, and then you can just include I will also send out an email, but like a paragraph of your profile or bio, and then 1 or 2 pictures to publish on the platforms to get the community to know about you guys. And then we can do a Q&A as well on the social media pages. And then we can also do highlights of each subcommittee each month. And these highlights would be, I would like to start with 3 of the same questions for each subcommittee to make them the same, but they would be, what is the subcommittee's main responsibility? Who are the commissioners that lead this subcommittee? And what are the goals of this subcommittee for this year?
Sounds very good. Is there anybody who wants to work with Commissioner Liu on this project of getting us on?
I'll help her.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay.
Just send me an email.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Now, the planning committee. Okay, we're going to pass that. Information managers.
A few things. One is I did address the city council on the November 6th. The chair was not available to do that. Was quite an experience in person. The first time I addressed that was through Zoom. I had several things reported to the council, and I probably would want to know from the liaisons about one of the issues in regard to, we had a candidate that his name was brought to council, and if there's any update on whether or not he's going to be recommended or not, or when, so we don't have gaps in our commission. So any word on that?
We'll take care of that within 24 hours, right? Okay. Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you,
Great.
because it's been a couple months, I
Great.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I appeal to the community, especially the young, to apply, because I mentioned to them that if we look at our composition, many of us are retired and aged, and we need to have...
Speak for yourself.
I'm speaking about myself. And we need some young people to really apply, because their issues are a bit different than ours. And the police force also is young, and they know each other better than us. So I think it's really important to have a mix of different ages, different experiences, different outlooks at moving our commission forward. And I think it's important to have that. The other thing is, in terms of number of complaints, I think we have now up to 29, and that seems to be within the upper range of complaints that are received by ICPOC. That does not include the complaints that were filed directly with AAPD. I will take the time in December and from now till our next meeting in January to go over some of the complaints that were referred to AAPD and look at their outcomes and see if we can review those ones also. But I would also, as I know, planning committee, we did not have the full meeting. We would like to, one of the issues we discussed in the past was to really go over our ordinance and see if it needs to be updated. And it hasn't been done in over 4 or so years. For our commission and maybe the planning committee is also to look at the questions that we have for interviewing our potential candidates, because this is the first version of the questions, and based on how you feel about them, we need to have those questions updated in a way that reflect the progress that we made and the expectations of the commissioners, and having questions that are more relevant than just generic ones. So I hope that we can have those available to the commission by January. And we're still also having, whenever there's any issue related to some of the complaints, when I think there are 2 or so, 3 in the pipeline waiting for the APD to have them finished their investigation, and probably we will have a meeting to review unredacted materials and finish the reviews and reports of those 3 outstanding complaints. This is what I have.
Thank you very much. That part of your report reminds me, when we were talking about the records management systems, they can set it up so that certain information can be released to ICPOC, but not public. So that sets up, again, our transparency issues, that we will be able to see non-public information upon request, so. Okay, thank you very much. City Council update. Would either of our liaisons want to? Okay, well,
I was going to talk a little bit about Ripple in Ann Arbor.
yeah, okay, and we did.
Ripple in Ann Arbor,
Good,
yes.
thank you. And thank you for the update about our new commissioner.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking it over now.
Thank you. Time for communications. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to the commission at this time? Ms. Cummings, anybody on the phone?
Nope.
Thank you. So we just want to again say, please, if you have issues you want to bring before the commission, we have time set up before and after each meeting, and you certainly are encouraged to do so. Any other communications at all, Ms. Cummings?
Nope.
Okay. So, again, this is our last meeting of the year. Want to wish everyone blessed holiday season. Be careful out there. And is there anything anyone else has before we adjourn? Thank you very much. Thank you to the department representatives. We are always so happy to have you come. All right.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to everyone. Is there, can I have a motion to adjourn? They've already put up, we're done, so can I have a motion to adjourn? Anybody else? Second? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.